a graph that passes through the point -2, 16. Okay, so let's write that down first. The equation of the graph is y equals to kx cubed. It passes through -2, 16. That means this is the x value and this is the corresponding y value. Substitute it into your equation. Okay, then let's see what we get. 16 equals to k times of -2 cubed. Solve for k and it will be 16 divided by -8 equals to -2. So now I have my value for k. Then the next part of the question is to draw the graph from -2 to 2 for x. And they also provide you the scale. So let's create our table of values first. I like to put my table of values on my graph paper so that I don't have to keep flipping front and back to refer to it. So table of values according to the equation y equals to -2x cubed. Because we already found the value of k to be -2. So fill in the values accordingly, we will get 16, 2, 0, -2 and -16. Okay, then we follow the scale that was required. 2 cm to 1 unit on the x-axis. Okay, so 1 square over here is 2 cm. I need from -2 all the way to 2. So I'll need a total of, you can start to calculate, or if you want to just guess, let's say -2 starts here. So 2 cm represents 1 unit, so -1, then my y-axis over here is 1 and 2. Okay, I have enough space. For my x-axis. Now for my y-axis, they want 1 cm to represent 5 units. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, we need to go all the way down to at least -16. So this is -15 and -20. Okay, I've got my scale ready. So it's time to plot corresponding values, -2 with 16. Let me use another color. -2 and 16, -1 and 2. 0 and 0, 1 and -2, 2 and -16. Right. So what do you think this shape will look like? We know a couple of different shapes. We have the straight line, we have a parabola, then we have the power tree. That is it's like a snake. So this is a power tree graph. Okay, over here, power tree. So it is going to look like a snake, and it is shown over here. Okay, I'll join them up now. Okay, I didn't pass through a point, so erase. And it should be very flat when it comes to the origin. Then we slope downwards. Okay, so this is my graph, and I have to label it. It is called y equals to -2x cubed. Okay? And that's it for question 6. Any questions? Yes? Yeah, okay. Hey, you end up drawing a straight line. It's not supposed to be a straight line. You see? Obviously, right, you just stop here. Now, when I said flat, right, I still want it to be a curve. You see, when I drew it, I did not draw a straight line. It should not be a straight line. You understand the difference? Okay?
That means that if you connect this point, and then this
Yes, yes, definitely.
and this point, this point, this point.
Yes. Like how I did it just now. Okay? Alright, next question is number 8. Go and refer to the question in your textbook also, as I'm going through. So copy the given plane and sketch the graph of y equals to -4/x². They said sketch. This word tells us that we do not need to plot on graph paper. Sketching, you can use freehand. But if it is a straight line, I still expect a ruler. All that means is it doesn't have to be drawn to scale. Okay, so this is actually -4 x to the power of -2. Do you remember what this graph looks like? No, not upside down parabola. No, not. It's like a skirt. Okay, it looks something like that. Okay, but the reason why they ask you, they included these values, all the 2's everywhere, is because they want to see whether you know whether the graph passes through this point or not, or whether the graph is below these points or not. So these are some special values that they want you to consider. Are there any absentees today? Xiaowei and Pina. Okay, your maths test, right, is brought forward to Tuesday. Instead of Wednesday, it's brought forward to Tuesday. 1 day difference. Because we need time to mark. Cannot, Wednesday cannot. What? But it's okay. You can have 2 tests in a day. Okay, so it's on Tuesday. Who is going to tell Fina? Okay, who's going to tell Xiaowei? You are? You're gonna? Make sure they get the information. Test topics, no change. Alright, so back to this. I know that the graph is going to look like a skirt. But the question is it the purple color graph? Or is it going to pass through this point over here? Or is it going to be above? So that is what they want you to consider. So how do we decide? How do we decide which graph is it? The purple, the blue, or the green? How do you know? But they are all curves. Middle is a straight line, what do you mean? No, I mean, okay, if I drew it properly as a curve, okay, so which one should it be? We have to consider what happens when x is equals to -2 and when x is equals to 2. Okay, so my working as shown below, when x equals to -2, y is equals to -4/-2 square, correct? What is this value? -1. Oh, I'm sorry. There is a negative sign. So the skirt, right? The skirt is actually all below the x-axis. I made a mistake. I forgot about the negative sign. See this negative sign over here? It means that the entire graph will be below the x-axis. So when x is equals to -2, y will be equals to -4/x over -2 square. This gives me -2. Okay? So this is a coordinate. Meaning negative 2, comma negative 2 lies on the curve. It is going to pass through this point. Likewise, when x is equals to 2, y is equals to negative 4 over 2 squared, which is still negative 2, meaning 2 comma negative 2 lies on the curve. So this is my other point. Okay? And the shape of the graph will look like this. It is going to pass through this point, going down. It is a curve looking like upside down skirt. Okay? Y equals to, we still have the label, negative 4 over x squared. The graph does not touch the x-axis. It does not touch the y-axis. You mean like this? They are the same thing. Whichever way you write it, they are the same. Okay? Is your scale correct? Oh no, there's no scale, right? Let me see it. You are supposed to pass through this point, negative 2, negative 2. But you didn't. This is the point here. Oh, 2 and negative 2, negative 2 and negative 2 here. Yeah, how do you get this point in the first place? I'm sure you made a mistake. You go and check your work. Sorry? Yes. For straight line, I want at least 3 points. Any questions? Otherwise, that's all for our 9.1. Alright, so let us move on to 9.2 if there are no more questions. I want to go through question 1D. Question 1D, we are supposed to have the graph of y equals to 3 minus 1 over x. Why? One not recording. Okay, in this question, right, they did not tell you what values of x to use. They did not give you a table to complete. You have to start the table by yourself. So, yeah, you mean you haven't done it so you didn't know? They did not give you a table to complete, so you have to create the table yourself. The more values of x you have, the more accurate your graph is going to be. I didn't give you a 1D. 1C, okay, 1C. So the more values you have in your table, the more accurate your graph is going to be. So for the graph of y equals to x cubed plus 5, I will create a table starting from negative 3 all the way to 3. 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Okay, and x, y. And then notice that some of you are really very lazy. You have your table, but you don't even draw you have your table of values, but there's no table because you refuse to draw the lines. Yes. They did not say the scale. You can. Don't draw what? The line for the table? No, you must draw the line for the table. You have drawn it, so very good. Okay, and then the values that I have will be negative 22, negative 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, and 32. So since they did not tell you the scale, it is up to you to choose. But choose a scale where you have your graph as large as possible. Otherwise, if it is too tiny, right, it is very difficult to plot the points. Okay. You're talking about 1C, right? Oh, yeah. So here, 35. Okay, so all the points down. The axes are all done. Let's plot. So use your pencil. When x is equal to negative 3, y is equal to negative 22. When x equals to negative 2, y is equal to negative 3. We continue x negative 1, y equals to 4. When x equals to 0, y is equals to 5. X equals to 1, y equals to 6. X equals to 2, y equals to 13. And finally, x equals to 3, y equals to 32. Again, it is going to look like a snake because we are talking about a x cube graph, power 3. Okay, then join it all up. Okay, so this is my graph of y equals to x cubed plus 5. Can? Must I add a 0.5? Okay. This is not really required. But because I like to see more, I like to have every 1 cm, right, I will have a dash. Unless it is very, very long. Then if it is too many, then I will put every 2 cm 1 dash. But minimally, every 2 cm you must have 1 dash. Okay? So for this, I will still keep it over here. Alright, next, by the way, this shape over here is the shape of your cubic graph, like the snake that we have talked about. But what is the difference between this and this? Okay, excellent. Over here we have a negative in front, whereas over here this is positive. So you see it is like a mirror image. What else you notice about the flat region? Over here and over here, these two flat regions. One is higher than the other, right? This one is at y equals to 0, whereas over here, what is it? Y equals to 5. You know why? Because of this plus 5. This plus 5 over here actually shifted the original curve up by 5 units. That's why all your values over here, all these, you added a 5 when you substituted the corresponding values of x inside. That caused the whole graph to shift up by 5 units. Okay, so that's what's happening. Now next, 9 point, still on 9.2, but question 2D. Similar type of question. So table of values. I think less than 3 of you got this question correct, because when you were constructing your table, you chose only these values: -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3 for values of x. Then because of this, right, you couldn't tell the actual shape of the graph. So as your corrections, right, I want you to have these values calculated. For x goes to 3, 2, 1, 0.5. Yes, 0.3, negative 0.3, negative 0.5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. These are the x values that I need you to have in order to get the correct shape of the graph. Okay, so I have a few questions. In an exam, we don't know that we need to use these values, right? That's why my recommendation is the more values that you plot, the better idea you have. But don't worry, during our exams, right, most of the time, we will give you a table. Then we will have one missing value. So you calculate that one missing value only. Then you plot according to the values given in the graph, in the table. Okay? Sorry? Okay, meaning during your exams, for example, this question, right, I'll give you this table, but I will give you all the values inside. You don't have to calculate. Okay, so right now, copy down with me 9.11, 4.25, 2, 4.25, 11.2, 11.2, 4.25, 2, and then a blank, let's just call it P, and then 9.11. Okay, wait, so let me explain. So typically, the exam question will look like this. Okay, you have all these values, all given to you already. No need to calculate. Then they'll say part 1, calculate P. Are they good for you, right? So you just calculate only one value. Sorry? What happens when you put 0 inside? What happens when you substitute 0 inside 1 over x squared? What's 1 over 0? You get an error. That is why this table does not include 0. Okay? So as I was saying, during your exams, typically we will give you this type of question. One table and then calculate P. Now all you need to do is to just find one value. And this will give you 1 mark. And then after you calculate the value of P, you realize that it is equals to 4.25. Okay? So don't worry about it during our exam. This is homework over here that we are doing. That's why we are making you calculate more, get familiar with calculating and presenting. Now, after you have all these values, you can start to plot your graph. I am not going to plot it. Instead, I'm going to sketch it very quickly for you so we don't waste time. It is going to look like, sorry? Yeah, correction, you can just sketch over your existing wrong graph. Your graph is going to look like this. This is y equals to x squared plus 1 over x squared. I am just doing a sketch. You need to plot. You cannot just sketch. Any questions? Yes. Will we ask you to draw this? Yes, we can ask you to draw this. Darren, do you have a question? Yes. Ah. Which 2 points very far? Or between the 2 crosses, is it? Then? Can. Or you can just add on to at the back of your graph lah. But is the original table given to you? Original table given to you, then you want to plot 1 more point to confirm whether your shape is correct, right? You can just go ahead and do it. You don't need to show me the working. You don't have to. One. Okay?
How long is the test?
1 period lah.
1 period.
No.
2 question lah.
I don't know.
Less than 2 questions.
Okay, what Darren is saying is, if you are given a table like this, okay, then we plot in all the points already, but he realized that he tried to join them up, but he's not sure whether this part, is it a curve down this way, or maybe this way, or any other way. So what he intends to do is to, hey, let me substitute in a value of x, maybe this is equals to 3, and let me find out where the y coordinate is. So after he does that, he realized that, oh, it's supposed to pass through this point. Then join it up. So his question is, can he plot extra points? Answer is yes, go ahead. No need. I mean, if the table is given to you and it excluded that point, you don't have to specially put it inside. Okay, for this case, for this graph, it is supposed to go, this part, go closer and closer towards your y-axis. Okay? It will not be parallel. Nope, it won't be parallel. And it will not go this way also. So for this graph, it will just go nearer and nearer. Something like that will do. Yes? What do you mean? If you plot what? No need. It's okay. Alright. Let us go on to question 5. One last one before we take a break from this and go on to the worksheet that I gave you yesterday. Still on 9.2, question 5a. Okay, the equation is y equals to x cubed plus 3x. Y equals to x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x. And they only want you to draw from -3 to 1. So table of values, in this case we will just use -3, -2, -1, 0 and 1. Corresponding values will be -3, 0, -1, 0 and 9. They also told you the scale to use for the x-axis and the y-axis. For the x-axis, 2 cm represents 1 unit. So 2 squares to 1 unit starting from -3. And we see that the y values, we have a 9 over here, and the smallest value is -3, meaning most of the graph will be found above the x-axis. So it is wise to put my x-axis low. Okay? Then my y-axis from -3 to 9. Now for my x-axis, I have my smallest value as -3, largest value is 1. So I know most of the graph is found on the left-hand side. So I'll start with perhaps -3 over here. 2 cm representing 1 unit, so this will be -2, -1, and this is my y-axis, 1 over here. And the y values will be from 1 cm to 1 unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not long enough. Nine. And it goes down to -3. -1, -2, -3. Okay, type the plot. When x equals to -3, y is equals to -3. 1 point. When x equals to -2, y equals to 0. X equals to -1, y is equals to -1. Then x 0, y 0, x equals to 1, y equals to 9. Okay, now if I were to connect the dots, it looks like it should go this way, something like that. But like what Darren said, these 2 points are very far apart. Maybe I want to check out what is the value of y when x is equals to 1, so that he can confirm the shape. So go ahead and do it. You can do it on rough paper, you can do it at the side when x equals to maybe 0.5, comma y is equals to, so calculate and you get 3.125. So somewhere here. This is an extra point that he wants to introduce. Okay? Then we join it up. And as you join it up, maybe you're not sure, is it supposed to pop out over here? Is it supposed to look this way? If you're not sure, you plot in more points, okay? So as you plot in more points, you will realize that it looks like this. This is what the graph should look like. Y equals to x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x. Then there are subparts for part B. Yes? Yeah, all these, put it behind. this is the table of value that you create yourself, so you can put it inside. Okay? Yes, you put as many points as you have inside the table. Okay, then part B. That's the interesting one. Use your graph to solve the equation x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x equals to -1. Okay, how do we do this? We said this before many times, huh? Using your graph to solve an equation. It is going to involve simultaneous equation. It is going to involve two graphs intersecting each other. So what are the two graphs intersecting each other? Okay, Afiq is really good at this because he keeps practicing. Y equals to this thing, then y equals to the other one. Okay? We already have this graph on the left. All we need is to draw another graph of y equals to -1. And it is a horizontal line. Let me use blue color to draw it. Y equals to -1. So we are looking for points of intersection. Where are the points of intersection? How many points of intersection do you see? How many? 2? Where? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 points. There are 3 solutions. So the first solution over here, part B, label down what is the value. According to my very badly drawn graph, my answer is -2.5. Over here, I have another point. Also part B, value is -1. And finally, over here, one last point, value is -0.6. These are my 3 values. Once I have them on my graph, I need to put it at the back of the page. At the back of your graph, you need to label question 5b, x equals to, what are my values again? -2.5, -1, -0.6. -2.5 or -1 or -0.6. Okay?